I'm Carol Bacak-Egbo, historian for Oakland County Parks. Join me now for an episode of History in Our Parks.
Who was here first? An Oakland County Park story. We know that all our parks were once farms. Human history in our parks did not begin with these farms. There were people here long before these farmers. Unlike the people who came after them, they did not measure the land and divide it up. It could be bought or sold. These were people who believed you could not own land. It was not something you could buy or sell. You could not be an owner, only a caretaker. These indigenous people, or Native Americans of our area, were collectively known as the Anishinabek. Over time, they became three large groups: the Odawa, the Ojibwe, and the Potawatomi. According to Anishinabek tradition, they originally lived here along the Atlantic coast. They believed they were visited by a spirit who was sent to help them. The spirit told them of a special journey. There are slightly different versions of what happened next. But in one of the most common versions, the spirit told them to look for a place where food grew on water. When they found that place, that would be their new home. So the Anishinabek began to migrate west. Along the way, some stopped and stayed, while others moved on. Eventually, they had spread throughout the Great Lakes region. Had they found the place where food grew on water? Had they found their new home? In the Great Lakes region, they had found wild rice. Wild rice grows on water. It became one of the most important spiritual and cultural staples of the Anishinabek. Sadly, there's very little wild rice left in Michigan. Pollution, logging, water sports, and other factors have caused it to disappear. But we are fortunate in Oakland County Parks. We have two areas of wild rice within our park system. One here at Rose Oaks, and the other one newly discovered in a recent small addition to Independence Oaks County Park. Areas of wild rice in our parks give us a very visible connection to the people who would have first known our parklands. What was life like for the Anishinabek? We know that they moved to different locations in a seasonal pattern, depending on the activities they were doing. In spring, many Anishinabek moved to their sugar camps, where they collected sap from maple trees, made maple syrup and sugar. Some moved to summer garden sites, where they would prepare gardens and plant seeds. In summer, the Anishinabek returned to their summer villages, where they tended crops like corn and beans and squash. They harvested summer berries and other plants. In the fall, the Anishinabek were busy harvesting and gathering things to prepare for winter. Some would travel to the area where they harvested wild rice. Some would stay at the summer garden site to harvest crops. Others hunted and fished. In winter, large Anishinabek groups broke into smaller family groups. These family groups moved to their winter camps, which were often in wooded areas where there was some protection from winter weather. They got what they needed by ice fishing, trapping animals like beaver, hunting animals like deer. From year to year, they moved in this seasonal pattern, careful to take only what was needed, careful to live in balance with nature. Guided by the idea that we have to take care of Mother Earth or we will not have a home. We must all share in this responsibility. At Oakland County Parks, we share that belief. Protecting natural resources is one of our most important goals. We also believe that pursuing that goal is the very best way to honor and remember those who were here first. We must be caretakers of the land, just as they were.